All right, so I kind of have a crazy idea. I've been spending a bunch of time after the Porsche got finished. I guess it's never finished because I'm going to end up putting some spacers on the wheels just to space them out a little bit. Anyways, whatever. So I've been cleaning up the garage. I moved some stuff around, got the 32 kind of organized a little bit better so I can get some stuff done on that. Then I just pulled everything out and swept it out, blah, blah, blah. Try to get it nice in here. I am going to get back on doing the 32. I need to get the metal work done so I can get the body back on the frame. But I'm kind of thinking about like what crazy kind of thing could I do in terms of a project that's next. And one thing I want to really do is I've been doing a lot of 3D scanning, and I've also acquired a bunch of 3D models of vehicles. Some of them I've like kind of custom designed. I work with some designers and some chassis builders to come up with some designs. So like one thing I've built or designed is a Porsche, wide body Porsche Targa on a custom chassis, but built to fit an LS engine. Kind of similar to what I did with the 997, I guess, but thinking was make a custom body. Sort of like some of the other builders that are out there and, you know, make it out of carbon or aluminum or like something kind of cool like that. Anyway, so that's one way to do it. The other thing I came up with too was a stretched sort of custom Corvette would be kind of cool. So I designed that and did some cool things with that. But then, you know, Can Dig It came out with theirs and feels like I'm just kind of copying them now. So don't think I want to do that one. And another model that I've got is a gull-wing Mercedes. So that's kind of pretty cool. You could do like kind of a gull wing. That gull wing is actually designed to go on an SLK 320, so like a more modern chassis. So it's like a chassis swap. So that would be pretty cool. Still got to build the body though. And, you know, thinking of doing it like aluminum or making a body buck. And listen, I'm not stupid. To build a body out of aluminum takes a huge amount of skill. And I'm cool with learning it and everything. But it might take me the next decade to where I could actually make a body out of aluminum using a body buck that would come out decent. So here is kind of what I'm thinking of doing. I'm thinking of, could you 3D print one? And I don't mean 3D print the whole car, because I've seen people that do 3D prints. And the thing with the 3D prints is the plastic is not made to, you know, withhold the sun, the stress. It's not made to be like a 3D printed product. Now I know people have done it, and I've seen people that have covered it in epoxy resin and done a whole bunch of like sandwiching in between different like substrates and blah, blah, blah. I'm not gonna do that. But what I'm thinking of doing, and I'm not the first person that's done this, so there are some like people out there that have done it, is 3D printing body panels, using them. You have to do some body work on them and stuff because you have to print them in pieces and kind of glue them together and body work them so they are decent, paint them in like a primer, and then use them as a mold. So create a fiberglass mold from the 3D printed parts. Again, it's been done. Then use the mold to make carbon fiber parts from. So 3D printed fender, make, do some work on it, make a mold, then use the mold to make a carbon fiber part. It's been done. There's other people out there. I'm going to show you little snippets that are here and there, and I'll link it to other people who have done stuff. I'm not going to steal any credit on this and anything. But I was like, that'd be kind of cool. But then I was like, what would be a really cool kind of kick-ass project? So the gull-wing would be kind of cool. Corvette, like I said, Can Dig already kind of beat me to it. So I got that model. The 993 would be super cool. But then I thought, maybe, what about doing a Lambo? Okay, wait a second. You're going to say Lambo replica. Oh my God, cringe. Countach replicas everywhere. Built on Fieros. I'm not talking that. I'm thinking doing this a different way, which might be a little crazy. So I'm thinking what I can do is buy a tub, our main chassis of a Lamborghini. And what I'm thinking of is doing it the same way that Lamborghinis are built. So Lamborghinis are built kind of like F1 cars. They have a main tub, which a lot of people refer to as a live space. So it's like supposed to be this compartment where in a bad accident, if you live in this space, basically. Everything else can get destroyed, completely fly off the car. Doesn't matter. In this little cocoon, you're safe. And that's the carbon fiber shell. That's the main kind of body to it. And you see that all the time. Like you've seen videos of like Ferraris that have been crashed and the engine's over here and the transmission's over there and like the front end's over here and there's this cockpit that's in the center and dude walks out and he's like totally fine. So what they have is they have a front section and a rear frame section that bolts to this main tub in the center. And everything's kind of built off of that. So my thinking was, and I'm not taking a slight at people who, whatever, I don't care what car you build. I don't take any slight on it. My only problem with Lamborghini replicas is it's an entire car. Somebody's taken a mold off of usually. It's one solid piece, which is not how they actually come. And you're supposed to build a custom chassis, which if you do it right, could be considered safe. But I've been in some major accidents, including rollover accidents before, and it makes me a little paranoid, some of the chassis I've seen built. And then you kind of like fuse this single piece body to this chassis, and that's kind of what you got. And listen, some of them are like insanely accurate. I'm sure the performance is great. But I think what would be cooler is if you took that main tub and built the frame off of that, but designed the frames on the front and the rear, not the same as Lamborghini, but maybe to use something like Corvette C5, C6 control arms and spindles, and then you can go with large brakes, easily accessible parts, cheaper to maintain, cheaper to acquire, and then do an LS again, but this time use a 997.2 PDK transmission. So you'd have something, again, the reason why you choose that is Porsche is more readily available, parts are cheaper than Lamborghini anyway, not cheaper than, say, GM, but they're cheaper than Lamborghini. And the LS engine, as we all know, is, easily to get parts, easy to maintain, really reliable. Maybe run turbo, maybe run supercharger. Definitely do a 180-degree exhaust. If you've never heard an LS with a 180-degree exhaust, it sounds like this. That's pretty cool. So definitely has that exotic sound, but build it like Lamborghini does. So they have these main frames, front and rear. You build all the chassis components off the front and the rear. They bolt to the main compartment. And then use the same process I talked about. 3D print the body panels and attach them just like Lamborghini does. If you've never seen a Lamborghini, I'll show a little snippet here on the side. If you've never seen how a Lamborghini goes together, it's just panels that are bolted onto this sort of space age kind of frame or open frame kind of a concept. Just like an F1 car or any other race car. There isn't all this interior structure like you would see in a unibodies like a Mustang or a truck, or not a truck, an SUV or whatever, where this whole big body has suspension components mounted to the body. It's these panels just bolt onto different locations, and there's not a lot of stuff inside. It makes the car lighter. It reduces a lot of the components, and because of the carbon shell that it has, it's quiet, relatively quiet. You've got a huge V12 or something behind you roaring like crazy, but it's quiet in terms of the cockpit has a lot of insulation with all the layers of carbon fiber. So you don't need to have all this sound deadening and everything else, in the front or the rear necessarily. So they don't have it in there. So the idea would be you build the panels the same, you mount them on the same. Not again to make necessarily a Lamborghini replica, and I might consider maybe do like a Liberty Walk style or something else. I would not use Lamborghini badging. I wouldn't use any badging on it. People will see it and know it's not a real Lamborghini. Don't care. It's a project car. And then do everything in carbon. Now, which one would I do? So that's a great question too. I think nothing older than a Murcielago. I love the Diablo. I think the Diablo is one of the coolest cars. There's so many Diablo replicas. It's a little dated. The Murcielago is pretty cool, but I happen to have another model. The other model I have is the new Countach, and I have it sectioned already into individual parts for 3D printing. Now, I can put a link in the bottom about the Countach and what it all involves. how it's or what's, performance stats and whatever. Lamborghini has a really cool site showing it. But what I'm thinking of is do the Countach, but the Countach basically is based off the Aventador. It's basically an Aventador that's been rebodied. So that leads me to the tub. So the tub I would need is an Aventador. Now, they don't come up often. Lamborghini, if you're watching this, I beg of you, if you want to send me one, because it'd be a really cool project, I would love for you to send me one. I don't think they will. If you know somebody at Lamborghini that's willing to send me one, then please hit them up, because I would love to start off with a brand new one, but I won't. If the thing I'm going to have to do is keep my ears open, and if anybody out there on YouTube happens to have any source for an Aventador main tub, part of the chassis, nothing else. I don't want interior. I don't want doors. I'd like to have the windows. The glass would be great. The windshield would be great. I'm not going to lie on that one. And the quarter glass and those pieces. But a stripped down bare tub with nothing. No wiring, no front frame, no rear frame. If they did have the frames, though, it might be a good thing to build off of. But really all I'm asking for is the tub. If you have one and you're willing to help me out, I will rep your business in every single video in this series, talking about who you are and what your business is. I will do a snippet in every video, I promise you that. So that's what I'm on the lookout for, is trying to see if I can find a tub. I'll see where it goes. I've seen a lot of McLaren ones available. That's an option too. Still kind of set on this Lamborghini idea, because I do have a model already for a Countach. I could get a model for a McLaren though. So I'm going to stick with that, see if I can get an Aventador. I've seen 1 or 2 for sale, huge prices. I'm not saying they're not worth that. I'm not saying that at all. Maybe they're just worth a ton of money and I'm just not going to spend that much on an experiment. But, I'll keep my eyes open. Maybe one comes up. Maybe somebody on YouTube can help me find one. But that's my plan. I may also look at something else, something like a Gallardo Huracan. But the thing about the Huracans and the Gallardos is the frame components are all actually attached to the body differently. And if one's probably in that state, it's been in an accident, and all those components will be damaged. So I'm going to have to start cutting frames and welding frames in, whereas the Aventador is a bolt to the tub kind of situation, and so is the McLaren. So those will work better for what I want to do in the end. So I'm going to keep my ears open. But one thing I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start doing some videos of the process of like how I print them out, printers I used, the cost, the time. I've never done molds like this before. So I'm going to show you what I found in my research. I'll show you my failures. I'll show you, what worked well in the process and how I got to the carbon molds. I'm going to try doing hand-laid carbon molds. I'm going to try to do injection molding. I actually would prefer to do injection molding. That's basically where you put a vacuum bag on it and you actually, with vacuum, suck the resin right into the part. It's supposed to be a better laid part. It's how they do it in factories like Lamborghini or anybody else who does carbon parts. I'm going to try it. It's a little bit more complicated, but you know what? I'm going to see how it kind of goes. I'll share the whole process along the way. I'm going to start with one thing. So I'm going to pick out something cool like, I don't know, a door. Lamborghini doors are kind of a thing. So maybe I'll start printing the door. And then we'll put the whole thing together, try and get to a mold and make the door, see how it goes. If it comes out pretty good, it seems like it's a feasible project, I'm going to keep going with it. And yeah, if a main tub shows up, then I can start planning out the chassis plans for it and start building that next. So anyway, long video. I'm sorry for that. Hopefully you found some value. It's kind of my new crazy idea. I'm going to do some more videos on the one thing I'm going to definitely be starting on in the fall, unless Lamborghini tub shows up, please, is I'm going to be doing my truck again. I'm putting the Coyote engine in it. So I've got a Coyote engine there. It's been sitting there for a while. 6-speed transmission, Mustang, independent rear suspension. And then just repainting it, restyling it, doing some more stuff on it. So I'm going to be starting that in the fall no matter what. And I'm going to be getting the 32 metal work on, the body back on. It's kind of the plan so I can get some more space in here. And then on the Porsche, just nothing. Porsche's just been sitting here, been driving it when I can. It's been bucketing rain, so haven't been able to get any miles on it. But yeah, that's about it. So a little bit of an update there. But that's my crazy idea. If you know somebody with a Lamborghini tub, hit me up. I'll pay for shipping. Yeah. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next one. I'm going to make, like I said, a bit of a series on this. Stay safe. Hope you enjoyed the video. Take you later.